Today we are going to talk about green tree pythons, a very popular animal in the hobby, and I get a lot of questions about them. Now, it is obviously one of my favorite animals. It's my logo. For those of you that watch my videos, you've seen me in Papua interacting with wild individuals, and of course you know that I import from the farm and I do keep a decent sized colony of green tree pythons for myself. Now, I do not claim to be a big name breeder of green tree pythons. I have bred them in the past, although it's been several years, and I think this season I'm going to make a concerted effort to try to hopefully pull that off again. But I'm going to show you guys the majority of my adult animals. I'm going to show you a little bit of the youngsters that I have growing up and kind of how I do things. I'm not really part of the bandwagon, I guess you could say. I don't talk to a lot of breeders. I'm just not really interested in hearing what a lot of them have to say. I just do my own thing. I'm in it for the animals. I enjoy what I get out of the animals themselves. And so, you know, I see a lot of opinions and a lot of people sharing information. And then there's a lot of, the big name breeders poo-pooing on getting animals, imported animals from the farm. And I realize they need to protect their interests, although, I don't know if I should say this or not, but a lot of the big name breeders are the first ones in line when I get shipments because they want new animals from the farm. They want new bloodlines. But anyway, even though it is a little contradictory, it is what it is. Now, as far as keeping the animals, I've done this before, showed you guys some of this stuff in a previous video. This is how I keep my animals. I keep them in these big CB80 boxes. I have the PVC ladders, and this is essentially how I keep all of my adults. Now, I just do what works. This works for me. I know this is not maybe the industry standard. The big name breeders, I don't think they keep their animals like this. I do a big water bowl. I use substrate. I don't use paper towels. I know that's a whole nother thing. Anybody posts a picture with a green tree python on substrate, and then you get all these people chiming in, you got to keep them on paper towels. They'll die and choke on the substrate. I've never had that happen here. I've seen a bunch of pictures on Facebook of animals that have eaten a paper towel. So it is what it is. I'm not one of those guys that enjoys telling everybody how to do everything. But this is how I do it. The babies, I set them up virtually the same, but in a smaller version. And they do really well for me. So that is basically how I keep my animals. And now I am going to show you guys a little bit of video of just about every single animal that I have in my collection that is an adult. There are a lot of animals that come through here, but none of the animals were born or hatched here in the United States. These animals were all imported by me. They all came off the farm. Again, going back to what the big breeders say, or the bigger names on Facebook, I guess, the people that talk the most, all of these animals should be dead because I imported them. Nobody wants to endorse a healthy farmed imported animal. So basically, that's what they're putting out there, and I don't put much out there. I do my little videos, and you guys see me at expos, and I sell animals online. I have a huge customer base. If I was peddling garbage, I think you would all know about it because everybody talks on Facebook, everybody talks on Instagram. So anyway, I do my due diligence. I bring the animals in, hydrate, treat, feed, let everything settle. I'm not into getting animals out the door as fast as possible. These animals, I love having these guys around. In fact, a lot of the small ones, I enjoy watching the ontogenetic color change. I love watching it. I have a hard time parting with a lot of the non-Biak animals. Now the Biak animals, that's the most common, and it also is a much lower price point. It's the lowest price point pretty much of any of the green tree pythons. I sell them at expos. I see comments almost every single day. Don't buy a green tree python at an expo. How does that make me feel? Whatever, you guys. It's the internet. You have your keyboard. You type whatever you want into it. I don't really care. But the animals that I sell have been with me for weeks, if not months. I put in the work. It would be stupid of me to bring in animals, not put in any work or time into them, sell them to the brand new entry-level green tree python keeper, and then have the animal die. That doesn't help me, it doesn't help you, and I don't do that. So I bring green tree pythons to the expos. They have to meet my personal seal of approval. They need to have many consecutive meals, doing fantastic. And my hopes is that the new entry-level person that gets a green tree python from me has a positive experience, and then probably will step up into the price point, increase the price point, and get into these designer animals that all of you big name breeders are selling. But yet again, you want to poo-poo everything that I'm doing. But you know what? It's all good, because I'm just hanging out here with my animals and I'm getting a lot of enjoyment out of what I'm doing. And that's pretty much where it's at for me. So anyway, let me roll the adults. Check those out. Let me know how you guys, how you think those animals are looking. I think they're looking fantastic. I'm fattening them all up, getting ready for breeding season, hopefully this winter. So check it out. Okay, you guys, so you've seen this room before, of course. You've seen all my racks and my tubs. Basically, this whole thing, there's a few empty spots, but the whole thing is full of Biak, green tree pythons, and a few non-Biak locality animals. I just wanted to show you guys a couple of those. You know, this is how I keep them. Perch, on substrate, water bowl, and just some nice animals, some young, different locality animals. This one's in shed, but looking real nice, doing quite well. And just keep them housed individually. All these animals are kind of like in various stages of their color changes. This one just came in actually like I think 2 weeks ago, so we're only 2 meals in, but it's nice and chubby. And it looks to be going into a shed again. But that's pretty much how I keep my little guys. And I just scribble notes with my erasable pen and just keep track of everything. And that's how I keep my animals, just very basic. The ambient temperature in here is pretty much always warm. And that's pretty much how I do it. I love having these little guys around. I like to watch them, you know, go into their changes, like I said. They're not sexable at the size, so I just leave it alone. And after they've already kind of shown me what they're going to show me as far as what they're going to look like, then I get around and I'll go ahead and sex those animals and then make the decision whether or not I feel like I need to add them into my program or not. Another thing that I'm going to be doing is, you probably noticed that most of my females are Biak animals. So I believe what the best direction for those animals is to cross up some breeding of the localities. Normally with everything that I do, I keep them pure. I keep the locality pure when it comes to other different species of snakes. But I think with the green tree pythons and the way that the market is, I think people want crosses more than they want pure animals. If I was just going to breed pure Biaks, I think I don't think it would be really good market decision. So I'm going to probably be crossing up and doing some a lot of Aru Biak crosses. Actually, I don't have any Biak males here, to be honest with you, and so that's probably where I'm at. Some of the other locality animals, like the Waigeos and the Sarongs and that, I'll keep those pure, of course, but I think the best course of action with the Biak animals is to cross them into other localities. And, you know, from there we'll start to do the designer thing, or perhaps that will be your guys' job if I'm lucky enough to produce some animals, and then, you know, then we're well on our way to doing the designer stuff, or you guys are on your way to doing the designer stuff. So that is about it. I just wanted to come at you with a quick video, show you guys some green trees, reiterate the way that I keep my stuff. Again, I know that I've already showed some of this stuff, how I keep my animals, and it's just relentless on social media, the way, you know, everybody basically just forces all this stuff down your throat. And so you know that I'm different. I speak my mind. I don't really care what other people are doing. I do what works. I have enough years under my belt to where I know what works and what doesn't work. So by trial and error, this is kind of how I've found myself keeping my animals. They're doing really well, and that's about it. I can't really think of too much else to add to that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, enjoy what's left of your weekend, and we will see you again in the next video. Thank you for watching. See you guys.